Sure.
Okay, we have with us here, a very illustrious and distinguished personality, Leslie DeGama, and it's very difficult again to profile him. I will use some of the words that he has used in profiling himself, and one of them being that he spent most of his working life developing trainers and training solutions for corporate houses, government, vocational education, and most of this has been under ILFS Education and Technology Service. So there are many, of course, under his own banner, which he started on later. And of course, the other part of Leslie DeGama has been his illustrious stint with St. Xavier's Collegiate School as a math, English, and computer science faculty. Um, his specialization has been creating high quality trainers for organization using their own resources. So he's been, he's given a lot back to society in different forms. And the fact that he's so much engrossed in technology and has a passion for technology. He's actually a director of a software company, which many people don't know. So, all of this makes him a wonderful, a highly versatile personality, and perhaps a right man, in this COVID era when we are all struggling with technology and education. Okay, a warm welcome to you, Leslie. A small effort by Nogen, our organization, which we just got incorporated in 2016, and we never quite managed to get it going, but thanks Almighty, we're slowly getting back on track. Right. So, give us your assessment about how we have done so far. How would you grade us as
Thank you.
sector?
Thank you,
Yeah.
Rajib. I must correct you. I'm a learning and development consultant now, and I am not a director with the company, though I am a
No
full-time
more. Okay.
consultant with them.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
but it's a company that I was part of when we started it, and then it's now part of a very large organization, worldwide
Right.
organization.
Okay.
So
Great.
uh, I think how we've done is very interesting. One of the things is what we've done and then how we've done it. Uh, in the field of the corporate entities, the guys who got off very lightly are the IT people. They uh, they managed to grab their laptops, desktops, chairs, whatever they could, and leave Sector 5 and set up at home. They saved, my guys saved about 2.5, 3 hours of traveling a day. And that's been put to very good use. I think most of these people who are working from home are also learning from home. They're also learning a lot of hobbies. They're doing baking. A lot of people are doing baking. It comes up on Facebook fairly often.
Right.
they
So much
they're
needed
learning
social
cooking.
skills.
They're learning cooking. Some of my people are learning sewing and embroidery and mandala making. And I
Wow.
mean, there's a whole list.
Okay.
And what's really important is that people have taken to this entire process very comfortably, mainly because they're at home, and home is a comfort place. You've got hot meals being served instead of scavenging off the little shacks on Sector 5. You've got,
Yes.
you can actually dress in your pajamas from the waist down. And you could
Except
also
Anand Mahendra got caught though. One.
no, whatever. A lot of people have got caught, but it's okay. People expect that. And if, suddenly a little kid comes in and says hello from the back, that is also being accepted.
Absolutely.
It's office invading your home and the home fighting back. So
Absolutely.
I think
Absolutely.
it's perfectly workable. It's working well. And I don't want to get into the medical part of COVID. I don't want to get into the numbers and the statistics and the governmental behavior, whether it's apathy or whether it's proactiveness. I think this is something nobody had a clue about. Nobody has been able to take care of it. I think governments are trying really hard.
Yes.
But from the world of work,
Mhm.
I said the IT professionals have worked out well. Education is actually getting onto track as they're slowly understanding what is important and what is not important in online teaching. Some of the device companies, the laptops and the desktops and the tablets and the phablets are actually selling quite well.
Yes.
Uh, Amazon is back in action,
Right.
mainly because people realize this is going to be normalized over a period of time. They're going to have to use electronic means of communication.
Yes.
What I really wanted to say, Rajiv, in this particular case is even in these far-flung districts and all, which we are always crying about, people now have access.
Absolutely.
So
Yes.
I think this whole COVID-19 has created a new level of access, and people are now able to learn anything they want, anywhere they want, from any university in the world. So many universities, libraries, Udemy, Coursera have made all their courses free.
True. True.
So a little guy sitting in a small little town in maybe in North Bengal or something who could never get to your classes, for example, he is now able to access not you, but somebody maybe in North America because
Correct.
he has the access. And I think this e-learning has become a great leveler. E-learning has become a great leveler
True.
as far as learning access is concerned. Even though people talk about the digital divide and all that sort of thing,
Yes. Yes.
I
Yes.
think I think people have access to mobile phones, and those smartphones are everywhere. And so they're using the smartphones smartly. Some of them are learning, some of them are playing games, but eventually they're getting a lot of value out of it.
Right. Right. You were talking about the digital divide, and that is exactly what I was going to come to. We are an argumentative country. We've had a novel written by a Nobel laureate on that. So, very practically, where do we stand? I mean, do you really think that, getting the right kind of equipment, uh, having a Wi-Fi connection at home, do you really think that can be a challenge for a lot of people, and they might just be denied this form of education? Is that
So
a
there,
concern?
I think we are fairly cheap as far as connectivity is concerned.
Mm.
It's not unaffordable. And
In
I
fact,
did a
we
small,
are among the cheapest in the world, perhaps now.
absolutely, and
Yeah.
I did a small back of envelope calculation,
Mhm.
and I realized I'm saving about 10,000 rupees a month on my car, and I'm spending maybe 1,000 rupees a month on my Wi-Fi.
Right.
So I'm actually earning 9,000 rupees by using my Wi-Fi. So
Absolutely.
I would
Absolutely.
I would say that just the cost of travel, the cost of incidentals, medical costs because you're traveling, you're getting colds, coughs, all these sort of things. That's all come down tremendously. Eating
True.
food from the roadside, that's come down
True.
tremendously.
True.
And
True.
so if people take that into consideration, then they will find that buying digital equipment or buying internet packages or whatever else it is, I mean, it's much, much cheaper and much more, uh, I would say, useful than the kind of learning they've been doing all this time. People don't need to go to school. School comes to them.
Mm. Right.
So this is at all levels, and the more senior levels, uh, college going students and the management students and all these people, they already know how to handle this sort of thing, and they also have the choice of picking up whatever they want to. In fact, on Monday we had a webinar for the
Mhm.
Calcutta Chamber of Commerce,
Right.
and this
Right.
digital divide suddenly popped up, and one of the panelists said, I mean, why are you getting worried about the digital divide? The country has been divided in multiple ways, and education has always not been available to everybody. So why
Right.
suddenly bring it in and say that it's because of e-learning that there's a digital divide? I just mentioned that e-learning has become a digital equalizer, in my
Absolutely.
opinion,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and not a divider. Yes, there are people who can't afford some equipment, but take a look at Kerala, for example.
Yes.
They are reaching television based education and various kinds of devices to villages, to people who just don't have devices of their own. They're making them community devices. So there is always a solution.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We as argumentative Indians, as we just mentioned, we're constantly searching for problems. I think even if we have a solution, we'll try to first find a problem that we can fit it to rather than use the solution. So I am aware that there's always been a have and have not kind of thing, and that's going to continue. It's, I think Darwin said this in the 1800s, that there is a survival of the fittest in the back of all our minds.
Absolutely.
Somebody is
Absolutely.
going to be more fit and somebody is going to be less fit. We can't wish that away, and we can't keep governments responsible for that either. Individuals have to take their own responsibility.
Right. So this experience that you've had during this period, and of course with your vast experience over the years, where do you see us going from here in terms of education? Obviously, I mean, the conventional wisdom, and I'm sure you're going to be, there'll be a mix, of course. But can you give us some insights how you feel about this? Where are we, shaping and reshaping ourselves?
In a sentence, we have to, I think everyone's going to realize that we have to get rid of the pedestals. The old pedestal where the guru sits on top of the mountain and lectures down to the students, and whatever the students know at the end of the day is only what he knew in the first place.
Right.
Today, students are sitting at home. One panel is open on Zoom or Google or whatever it is, watching the teacher. The other panel is open on Google, checking what the teacher is saying. And this is happening at the youngest levels. Kids are actually looking and seeing that there's something better there. There's more information there. I can check it out. So to me, learning is going to become blended learning. There's going to be a certain amount of face-to-face. There's going to be a little bit of classroom, virtual classroom. Even if we ever get back to the classrooms, I think it's going to be changed.
Yes.
Teachers are going to get into the classroom and they're going to stop lecturing. They're going to start asking questions. They're going to start creating assignments. They're going to start creating projects. They're going to have to do that because they've already done it now for a couple of months and it's going to continue for a few more months. They're going to have to create challenges. They're going to have to trust the students to do a certain amount of self-disciplined work.
Right.
And yes, it'll again be survival of the fittest. Those who come up to the levels of being able to work with ethics and trust will be the ones who will survive in the next millennium, in my opinion, or even the next decade, because they're going to know how to learn. They're going to learn how to learn. They're going to know how to learn. They're going to learn how to get information. They're going to learn how to put that information to use. And they will become the useful people of tomorrow. All those certificates that we went chasing around for all these years are going to mean nothing. In fact, you know, you're aware that Udemy and Coursera and all these people, they have these courses. You do them at your own pace. You do them whenever you can, however you can. And at the end of it all, they offer you a certificate.
Right.
And to get that certificate, you just got to click on a PayPal which says pay $30 or something like that. And then they give you a printed certificate for that course.
Right.
Most people don't click. They don't need the certificate. They've got the knowledge. Why do they need the certificate? And that's what is changing. That's what is changing. Yes, some of the teachers who taught with a lot of passion, a lot of compassion and all these things, they are the ones who are feeling threatened because their powerful presence in the classroom or their charisma is somehow not transferable over the screen. It's difficult.
Right.
Okay. So they are the ones who are feeling that, oh, wow, we've lost our meaning. Well, too bad. I mean, there are people who are well over retirement age, like me, for example, who are still learning new technologies every day.
Right.
Right. All of today, there were 3 teachers from across the world who were calling me up and messaging me and saying, we're having this kind of a problem. Can you help us fix it? So I went, searched in the right places, found the fixes, tried them myself and shared the fixes with them through a video.
Right.
And they were so happy. And they had only one day to do this because they have a problem tomorrow. They're having something on. So this is the kind of thing that we're going to find ourselves doing more and more. Yes, I
Right.
should convert that into a billable hours, but no, not now. Maybe later.
Right.
Uh,
Now, this is, I mean, just in context of what you just said, I asked a similar question to one of our previous panelists. And this question of, are we looking at, a set of teachers with new kind of skill sets, therefore? Are the educators who've been around, and as you said, these very empowered and powerful personalities whom we still, remember with a lot of awe and respect, is it over for that gene altogether? I mean, are we looking at new skill sets and altogether a new way of delivery and things like that?
I think most people are actually thinking and hoping that we will get back to the old normal at some point in time. They're all hoping that, okay, this is a passing phase. In fact, I've been involved in so many webinars. I'm not even going to quote my sources, but I have a lot of information which I have picked up from various places. And one bit of information I picked up is there are three things that will change and must change and have started changing. One is the tool set. You're not going to use your chalk and talk anymore. You're going to use electronic tools, and you're going to use other kinds of tools where you set work, you ask people to research. So research tools will become of even greater importance than lecture tools,
Right.
right? The second change that has to come is the skill set change. Both students and teachers and administrations have to learn new skills. So we got the tools. We have to learn where they are best used, how they are used, and how they work for us. And also we need to learn how to assess them, how to assess those tools. So we've got the new tools, the tool set change, we got the skill set change, but above all, we have the mindset change. Somebody who's going to open a Zoom call and then lecture the students who he can see in little windows, uh, just as if he was in the classroom with the blackboard behind him, and he says, okay, now let me, but he can't ask questions. Or if he asks questions, he has 40 people, attempting to answer.
Right.
So there is interactivity is lost. Like I said, the upper half body language is all you can read. What the kids are doing below, they've got a little video game running below, and you can't see that. And if somebody is organizing something else below the level of the camera, there's nothing you can do about it. Right now, I could have my WhatsApp on my screen and you don't know because it's on my screen, it's not on
Correct.
yours.
Correct.
Yeah. But you might be able to see my fingers typing. That's about all.
Right. Right.
So mindset change is to me the most important. If we continue with the old mindset saying that we're going to get back to normal and once we get back, we will teach all this, then we're wasting time. We're losing time and children are suffering. Quite frankly, the children are suffering.
Right.
When I say children, I mean the learners, all learners.
Right. But this mindset change will again, it's an arduous trek to bring about a change in the mindset, isn't it? I mean, you
The
think
good
that?
thing is that nobody knows. Nobody knows how to go about it because we were all hit by COVID at the same time across the
Right.
world.
Right.
Nobody had a chance to reinvent the wheel. Nobody had a chance to look at education. People
Yes.
are trying out little things and they say, this works for me. Somebody else says, well, something else works for me. So the mindset change that has to come has to be involving the lifestyle change. It's what I'm not allowed to do. It's like, Rajib, if I lose a leg, I can't run tomorrow's races, right?
Right.
I have to think of what can I then do without that leg. That's going to be my question. Okay.
Absolutely.
If I
Absolutely.
break an arm, I can't write. I've got to learn to either type with my other hand or learn to write with my other hand or learn to speak into one of these devices that can translate my voice into words, right?
Right.
So
Right.
that's the mindset change. It's forced on us. I don't think anyone has a choice. Nobody can step back and say, okay, I've decided I'm not going to earn anymore because of COVID. You have to think of something else. There's got to be another way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Uh, generally speaking, I mean, I'll again go back to that first question, which you have kind of
Avoided?
avoided. and and that is, how have we responded? I mean, to be very honest, in a scale of 1 to 10, I mean, I'm not going to, get into that government and
Okay, so I
private
have to
issue.
ask you to define the word we. Who's we?
We meaning, okay, I mean, I'm kind of you can say a sideline educator, but nevertheless, I mean, educators as a whole, the
Okay, so if we're
yeah,
talking about education,
and
there
the
are
and the
various.
and the administrative segment, the
So there are
stakeholders.
various segments in the education spectrum, as far
Right,
as I'm aware,
right, right.
and I think different people have tried to work out their own. So most of the, I would call these schools privileged schools. Most of the privileged schools have
Yes.
immediately sent out messages to all their students and parents that you need to have at least a smartphone, if not a tablet, but
Mm.
preferably a laptop or a desktop with a camera and a microphone so
Right,
that we can start taking classes. Okay. I
right.
think the visual medium, talking to the students, is the most important thing.
Yes,
The educators have to develop a connect, right?
yes,
And
yes.
that's important because you can't connect over email. You
Right,
can do a lot of things over email, but you can't connect uh, directly. So this
right.
connect has to come.
Mhm.
I think many schools have done this. Many schools have jumped into using Zoom. And then, of
Mhm.
course, there was a big scare about using Zoom. So people have shifted and moved and whatever. I know
Yes,
schools that have gone through whole cycles of different technologies. So that is the tool set. They
yes.
experimented with different tool sets. And
Right.
for each tool set, they had to teach a new skill set to the teachers. Some teachers
Absolutely.
were not very happy about it, but then
Mm-hmm.
they need to keep their jobs. Some teachers were okay. Let's give it a try. Let's take a bash. Let's make the mistakes. Okay. Some parents were, oh, now we can see what's happening in the classroom. Some parents were, thank God something's happening. Okay. So I think responding has been a very interesting concept. I think
Somebody was
the
telling me some parents are attending on behalf of
oh
their
yeah,
kids.
we call them helicopter parents. So helicopter parents have a device like you have in your ears. One is stuck into the child's ear, the other is stuck into the mother's ear, and she's
Okay.
staying just outside the frame. And all these things have happened.
Okay.
But now they're finding it difficult. Parents have to go back to work, right? Parents
Yes.
have to do the whatever housework they're doing. They can't
Mm.
sit for several hours with the child. So now
Right.
they've realized things are okay. It's working. So I don't need to be here. And
Right. Right.
I think schools are getting unnecessarily worried about this. In
Hmm.
fact, somebody called it bullying
Yes.
of teachers
Yes.
by parents. That's
Hmm.
fine. I mean, uh, it will sort itself out. I'm a firm believer that things do sort themselves out over a period of time. Can you
Yes.
imagine a mother spending half a day sitting at the side of her child? It's going to be something that she cannot sustain.
Absolutely.
So at
Yes.
some point in time, she's going to take a break and say, okay, beta, you carry on. I'm just going to check on the curry, which is on the stove. She spends 15 minutes there, comes back and say, beta, everything is okay. And beta says, yes, okay. And then she goes back again. That's fine. That's going to happen. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Uh, Somebody asked me the other day saying that her son was on Instagram when he was supposed to be listening to the teacher. Can you talk to him? So I casually had a chat with him, nothing about Instagram, and I asked him about which teachers he likes and which teachers he doesn't like. And he said there's some people who are so challenged by technology that
Yes.
we just laugh at them.
Right.
And there are some teachers who are very good and are very comfortable talking to us, you know.
Yes. Yes.
And I asked him, said, so what happens when there's a really boring? He said there's a teacher, who actually comes and reads the whole textbook. And we
Uh-huh.
already have the textbook with us. And then after reading the textbook, she says, okay, put a mark in your textbook and we'll take it up again tomorrow. So I said, so what do you do during that period of time? He says, oh, simple. I get onto Instagram and have a chat with my friends.
my
So I
my
said,
kid
you
my
think,
kid tells me there are a few teachers who would spend 30 minutes on attendance and then
yeah. So that'll happen. That'll happen. So
yeah.
what's really interesting then is that students are working out their own formula. So I got back to him and I said, when we were in school, if we had a chemistry class, which is really boring, we held this big chemistry book up in front of us, and we had a
Uh-huh.
small comic book inside it. And we read our comics peacefully and happily. So it's
Absolutely.
not new. You're just doing it in a virtual space. It's not something new. We've done it
Right.
all our lives. And
Absolutely.
if parents and teachers feel that they can police this, the students will find another way out. That's
Absolutely.
my firm
Absolutely.
belief.
Absolutely.
But I'm still avoiding question one. I think we've all managed very well. I think the
Okay.
teachers have done a fantastic job.
I
They
guess so.
have,
Yes. Yes.
number one, they have gone and tackled the technology they had no clue about.
True.
Secondly, they have switched technologies whenever the school changed its mind. I know at least 2 or 3 schools where they keep changing their minds every 2 weeks, saying, no, 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 let's not do this, let's do that.
Yeah, because
And the
few of them
teachers have suddenly,
had free subscriptions. So once the subscription was over, they switched back to Zoom.
yeah, and the 40-minute Zoom, okay,
Yeah.
justifying the fact that 40 minutes is the class anyway, so why do we need more time? Okay.
Right.
Uh, I think teachers have made every effort to try to study, to try to create lesson plans, to put them up on the new media, because earlier they had to write it on a book. Now they're putting it up on the new medium, maybe in Google Classroom or Microsoft Teams or whatever it is. They're using learning management systems. They're able to send project work and assignments to the children, check back on whether it's being done, give assessments. All these things, completely new concept. And what is really important, even today, I advised 3 teachers on what computer to buy, because they realize that buying a computer today is a survival technique. There's
Absolutely.
no way
Yes.
that they can survive with their mobile phones anymore. They
True.
can't see
True.
the whole class on their mobile phone. The
True.
computers are
True.
allowing them to see more people. So I've actually advised them what's the best kind of thing that you should go in for. And they're very happy about it, because I'm looking at it from the educational point of view, not from selling a computer.
Right. Right.
So that's I think teachers have coped very well. I think the little kids have coped very well.
Absolutely.
I know a
Yes.
4-year-old who is really happy to get into class every morning uh, and see his other friends. It's just socializing,
Right.
because that's what they were doing. Every day they went to school to play football in the break, not to attend class.
Right.
And today they're stuck in the house. Well, not stuck. I don't want to use the word stuck in the house. They're safe in the house,
Mhm.
but they don't have their friends.
Right.
And this new media is allowing them to invest in friends online at least.
Yes. And they can
I
see all of them together also. I mean, if you
absolutely.
have that
I have some 50 kids in the club. I'm a very core member of a club. I have
Right.
50 kids aged 6 to 12 in my
Right.
group. We meet once a week, and we do everything from art to singing to whatever they do, dancing. Some of them want to demonstrate their dancing skills. We do a little bit of mathematics. We do a little bit of language games. It's entirely games, and they just spend the first 5 minutes just saying hello to each other. Then they spend time in between on the chat, uh, appreciating each other. And that's something that has not happened in our classrooms in a long time. They
Absolutely.
actually say, oh, wow, that was a lovely song. Fantastic singing, beautiful. A little boy was doing magic the other day, and all the kids were so excited about the magic. They all wanted to learn how to do magic. So to me, this
Mhm.
is the great learning. They're learning etiquette online. They're
Yes.
learning concern for others. They're learning how to speak when they're spoken to in
Right.
turn, things which they used to make a lot of noise in the classroom. Today, they're learning very slowly how to mute and unmute and
Mhm.
have
And you
their
know,
say when they're asked.
things have generally slowed down. So it gives you a chance to reflect, and, as you rightly pointed out, to reinvent ourselves, uh, nurture a
I'm very
few
positive.
skills.
I'm
Right.
very positive about the outcome of this whole thing. I know it
Absolutely.
is forced. I know it was not expected, but the outcomes have been amazing. To me, it's been amazing. You asked
Right.
about administrations. Administrations are spending sleepless nights putting things into place. I know a school that has offered laptops to all the teachers, and on a soft loan basis. The school will buy the laptops. The
Hmm.
teachers can pay it back from their salaries over the next 2 years.
Wow.
I mean,
Great.
that's amazing.
Mhm.
So teachers have said, okay, fine. we would like to buy better laptops because we have money now. So, we'll take the money from the school, we'll pay it back to the school, but we'll put in another 10K and get a better laptop.
Great.
That's the level of commitment that they have come up to.
Wonderful.
Right?
Leslie, it's been a real pleasure talking to you. I wish this would go on and on, but Zoom has a limitation. But in this case, we don't, because we just two of us are here. But nevertheless, thank you so much. And I guess we need to do this informally also at some point. Maybe get a few others involved as well, right?
Yep. I would really like to have a separate session on how to flip the classroom, which is something that I've been doing for many years when I was a teacher without knowing it's called the flipped classroom. But today it's a whole art form, the flipped classroom. And there are many techniques that we should talk about at some point in time. I'll be very happy to talk about them with you.
Wonderful, wonderful. In fact, we already had something called cohort learning, which you already know. And I'm sure this flipped learning that you're talking about encompasses that as well, where we learn from each other, as you just pointed out about the skills and all that. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much, Leslie. It's been a pleasure. And once this gets ready, I'll definitely share it with you. Yeah.
Sure. Thanks very much, Rajib.
Thank you. Yeah.
Good being here. Thanks.
Right. Okay. Yeah.